Hey folks, it's the Blind Guy here, and on this episode we are doing another Should You Watch, and we are taking a look at 1979's 10. The movie is called 10, just the number 10, starring Dudley Moore and Bo Derek, and also Julie Andrews, believe it or not, Mary Poppins. And first of all, I have a beef with this movie's name. I don't think naming it the number 10 was very wise from a marketing standpoint. I knew what this movie was about. I just never seen it, so I hunted it down, and it was a lot harder to find than it should have been by typing in the number 10, because when you type the number 10 in, you get all kinds of movies that just start with the word 10. So I think that was a mistake for whomever named this movie, but that's okay, because to be honest, this is not a very good movie, and so I don't really care whether anybody can find it or not. On IMDb, it scores a 6.1. I think that is generous. I would probably give it a 5.5. I know I'm already spoiling the review, but I just don't think it's a very good movie. So the premise of the movie is Dudley Moore is a famous, I believe he's a stage music composer, like Andrew Lloyd Webber. Even his last name is Webber in the movie, so that might be a little homage to Andrew. But he's a famous like Broadway composer, and he is turning 42, I think I remember correctly. And so he's having a midlife crisis, and he's dating Julie Andrews. And so you would think that would be good enough for him right there, but apparently it's not, because as he's driving one day, he sees an attractive young lady getting married at a Catholic cathedral, and he instantly just falls for her and becomes infatuated with her. And that character is played by Bo Derek. He then actually figures out who her dad is, and he's a dentist. And so then he goes to the dentist and figures out that she's on her honeymoon in Mexico. And this is so weird. The dentists don't wear gloves. Did you know that? Like, that's a fairly recent thing. Could you imagine somebody poking around in your mouth just with their bare hands? Ugh, gross. But sorry, I digress. But he then follows her all stalker style to Mexico. And I know I'm giving you spoilers because I don't think you should see this movie, so I'm just going to spoil it for you. And he ends up saving her new husband from drowning. And so then she apparently kind of starts liking him, I guess, at that point. But anyways, while the husband's in the hospital, they start to hook up, and then Dudley realizes that Bo Derek's character is kind of trashy and has some really interesting worldviews, and so he learns his lesson and goes back with Julie Andrews' character. And so that's the story, which is okay. The story's not really the problem here. To me, the problem is, first of all, the humor. It's like a Mr. Bean type humor, which I was not expecting, which maybe I should have if I'd watched Arthur, I guess. Because there's like scenes where he's being a peeping Tom with his neighbors by looking through their windows with a telescope. Phone rings, he hits the telescope, it swings around, hits him in the head. He falls down into a ravine off the side of his house and then can't get back up the ravine to answer the phone, and that's supposed to be funny. It's like that Mr. Bean or Ben Stiller type stuff where the situation just keeps getting worse and worse. And I've never really thought that was very funny. For me, dialogue can be a lot funnier than actually just a bizarre situation. So that's one problem. I was more on a personal level with me. But I think the bigger problem with the movie, the acting's okay. I mean, there's nothing great, but it's not terrible. And the dialogue's okay. But for me, the biggest part is it's either an editing problem or a direction problem. But the movie is edited really weird. Like, the only scenes that are not cut too short are the ones that are cut too long. Like, nothing is edited correctly in this movie. And it really bothers me because it makes the timing of the movie so clunky and out of pace that it was actually, I had to watch it in about 3 different nights. And it's not a long movie, but I kept getting so tired of how the way it was edited. And you feel like there's just these jokes that you don't even really get. Like maybe they lost part of the footage somewhere. It's pretty rough. Just a fun little story. My parents actually saw this with my dad's parents before my parents were married, as like a just a fun night type thing. They said it was on HBO, and I cannot believe they finished this movie. It's got a lot of nudity and pretty rough situations in it, especially for 1979. But it's got a ton of that. So if you are somebody who's going to get married, don't watch this with your future in-laws. You will not have a good time. But I just don't think anybody should watch it anyways. But I wanted to give a shout out just to my parents on that one, because I always thought that was a funny story. My dad also took my mom to The Deer Hunter as a date, so that should tell you something right there. Maybe I'll do a review of The Deer Hunter coming up. I need to rewatch that, though. Yeah, I'll do The Deer Hunter, but I'll have to rewatch it. So, sorry, I'm getting off track here. So that's my thoughts on the movie 10. You can find it on Amazon Prime. I'll put the link for it below. If you want to support the channel, you can use that link to rent the movie, or you can use that link just to go to Amazon and buy whatever you want. That really helps the channel out. And you can also sponsor a video. I'm working on one coming up. I know I keep saying that. I just keep pushing it back. But it is going to come out. And so thank you guys so much for all the support. I've got a 100 subscriber challenge coming up. We're going to break that 100 mark. I just know we can do it. And I do this for fun, but it's way more fun with your guys' support. So thank you for the comments and all the support on the Where Eagles Dare video. That one's just has really gone well. So I just thank you guys for everything you do. And sorry for the gap there. I've been sick, but I feel like I'm getting better. So more videos to come. So those are my thoughts on the movie 10, 1979, Dudley Moore, Bo Derek. I wouldn't check it out again. I'll leave it up to you. I'll see you on the next episode of A Blind Guy's View. Laters on the Menjay.
Laters on the Menjay.